that change lives and save lives. And so, unfortunately for my two friends that passed away, they're not going to be able to see the fruits of their labor because they actually were instrumental in helping me with this idea. So I apologize for getting choked up and being the wet blanket on today's presentation, so I'll try to pull it together and give you what we're trying to work on with crowdsourcing cancer. And I usually start my presentations with a joke, like an oncologist, a radiologist, and a cancer survivor walking into a bar. But we haven't quite figured out the punchline for that one yet. We're getting there. But anyways, I want to talk to you about my aha moment with using Twitter as a cancer survivor and how that's really helped me in the last 2 years. And I'm trying to see if Brian Simpson is still in the house. Yes, I see a wave. My aha moment on using Twitter and the idea of crowdsourcing cancer survivorship tips and tricks came about 2 years ago when I saw a tweet fly by in my stream that said, if you know what it's like to ride backwards in a car full of smoke, being car sick and all this other crazy stuff, I wish I could find that tweet. But essentially, Brian was, in his very own words, describing what it's like to feel like after a chemo session. Your brain is foggy, you're exhausted, you feel nauseous, you feel, in some cases, vertigo, and in 140 characters, I knew exactly what Brian was saying. He was reaching out and saying, hey, I've just completed a chemo and I feel like crap. I responded to that tweet, and years later, I count on Brian as one of my cancer survivor Twitter buddies, that we've been able to create this very dynamic, very lively community of cancer survivors on Twitter. And I think it's a very unique opportunity that we have to use social media tools for something other than a business. So I'm not here today selling a business model. I'm basically selling life, or selling survivorship. We have Twitter, Facebook statuses. These things today are instantaneous, and the reach that they have is enormous. I was first diagnosed with cancer when I was a college sophomore, and I'm coming up on 20 years of cancer survivorship in January of this year. Back then, the only way that you could get information was to spend hours in the medical research libraries at the hospitals, work in the phones, calling doctors from all over the U.S. for help on dealing with some pretty nasty side effects of Hodgkin's disease. And it took me almost 3 years to battle through that. But today, I realize that I can put a question out on Twitter and say, help. I need a suggestion on how to battle nausea from chemo. Here's my drug. Or I'm dealing with mouth sores from radiation burns, from head, neck, and chest radiation. And people respond to that immediately. If they can't get the answer, they send it down their streams. They put it on Facebook. And within a day, you can get 20 to 30 very good, very solid suggestions on how to overcome an issue that you're dealing with. The idea of crowdsourcing cancer was born when, about 3 months ago, I put that very tweet out to my network for my friend Karen, who just passed away. And I said, my friend is dealing with mouth sores from chemotherapy. She needs help. Nothing's working. No drugs were working. None of the mixtures that the doctors and nurses were coming to her with, the xylocaine and the Benadryl and all these tricks that usually work, were not working for her. And I watched my Twitter stream for 24 hours go crazy. That tweet was passed around hundreds of times. I saw people update their Facebook status with that. And I realized the power of community was going to solve this issue for her. And within 2 days, she had tried a couple different things, I got a phone call from her the next morning and said, my mouth sores are gone. I can eat. It's the first time I've eaten in 3 weeks. And it was a simple, the answer came back in a tweet. It's, somebody responded to me that said, mix baking soda, apple cider vinegar, 1 part water, a little bit of honey, this, that, and the other thing. Mix it up and drink it down. And it basically took care of the issue that she was dealing with. That was our big aha moment when we went out and grabbed crowdsourcingcancer.com and started the first iteration of what the website will look like when we launch in December 15th. It's going to be a combination of Yahoo Answers, Just Answers, Google search, but with a very powerful network that will reach out through Twitter, Facebook, any of these other great social media tools to uncover and sort of source these different remedies, if you will. We're essentially looking to solve problems that cancer survivors deal with every single day. It might not seem like a very big problem to you if you've not dealt with chemo or radiation, but let me tell you, when you can't eat because your mouth is so sore from the drugs that you're taking that's trying to cure your disease, life can get very frustrating very fast. So I'm standing here today with presenting this idea to you that we're going to basically seek, source, and solve, and then survive. And essentially this is dedicated to my friends Karen and Don. And stay tuned because December 15th will be the launch of the website. And I'm just very glad that I got through that without crying again. I have 50 seconds left, and I guess I'll turn it back over to Jeff. But I really appreciate your patience today with me. Thank you.